So in this class, we are going to discuss another important 10 mark of this model, that is find the chromatic polynomial of the graph. That is a question can be given to you. Find the chromatic polynomial. They will be given the figure. For what figure you are supposed to determine the chromatic polynomial. Okay. So before that, to attain the 10 marks, we need to know some basic concepts related to that. Then only we will easily solve the problem. So first we can just get into the topic that is coloring. The chromatic polynomial comes under the topic coloring. So first we need to know what is coloring and then we can enter into that. Okay, first see here quickly I can complete within 5 minutes about this coloring and other things. Quickly after we can enter into the 10 mark problem. So please listen properly. So here coloring means you will be provided some graph. Okay, you will be provided some graph for which you will be labeling the coloring. Okay, for example, C1, C2, C3, C4. Okay, so here the important rule is you are not allowed to have two adjacents are having the same color. Okay, the definition of proper coloring will be no two adjacent vertices have the same color. That means you may raise a question like C1, C1, and then C2, C3. See here, two adjacent vertices are receiving the same color. It is not a proper coloring, but it is a proper coloring because it follows the condition no two adjacents have the same color. Okay, next. Chromatic number. Okay, there is a difference between proper coloring and then chromatic coloring. See here, I'll just try to difference with the examples. See here, C1, C2, C3, C4 means here it's a proper coloring. Why? Because here it is just followed the condition of the proper coloring definition. No two adjacents are receiving the same color. Okay, it is a proper coloring. Okay, next. So let me enter into the chromatic coloring. So chromatic coloring means so here I can write this like C1, C1, C2, and then C2. So here also, it also follows the same condition of the proper coloring, but it reduces the number of colors you are using, you are applying in the graph. Hope you can understand the difference between this is a proper coloring, this is also proper coloring, but chromatic coloring means you are reducing the number of colors. So here it follows a condition. No two adjacents are receiving the same colors. You can just check. These two are same adjacent, not receiving the same color. By the same way, you can check. Have you understood the chromatic coloring and then proper coloring definitions? Is it clear up to this?
Can you explain it once more?
Yes. See here, in your proper coloring, the definition is no two adjacent vertices receive the same color. Okay, so I have just assigned the coloring randomly like C1, C2, C3, C4. It follows the condition of the proper coloring. Okay, so if I stick on to the chromatic coloring means I should use certainly the proper coloring definition. No two adjacents receive the same color, but also additionally my another condition, I need to reduce the number of colors. Possibly I should try to reduce the proper number of colors. So here in this graph, the chi number, this chi number is actually 2. Okay, but here it is not a chromatic coloring because it is randomly I have just assigned the coloring, but it comes under the proper coloring, but it not comes under the chromatic coloring. Have you got the point? Have you
Yes.
got the point? Okay, so if the chromatic number is asked means the denotion is chromatic number is actually chi. So total number of colors you are used in your chromatic coloring, such number is called chromatic number. Oh, now,
sir, for proper coloring, the chi value is 0.
Sorry?
Sir, for proper coloring, the chi value is 0.
No. Actually, in your proper coloring, not always 0. So that's what I have already clearly conveyed to you. Both are comes under proper coloring, but I could not say both the labeled coloring labeled are not comes under chromatic. Chromatic means your ultimate aim is that you need to reduce the number of colors, But here in this graph, I didn't apply the property of reducing the number of colors. Randomly I have just, but certainly the original chromatic number of this C4 is actually 2. But I have used here 4. Certainly it not comes under the chromatic. Clear?
Yes.
Okay, fine. So now, usually this coloring property will be helpful to apply into the class scheduling, okay, timetable scheduling and other things. So anyway, there are plenty of applications are there. I'm not going to enter into the application part. So now you can just consider this as a graph. What will be the chromatic number of that? That's what we are going to discuss. See here, here if I mention here C1 color means the math and then art vertices cannot receive the vertices of, cannot receive the coloring label of
C1.
C1.
very good. It can be C2. Hope you can understand. If I mention here C2 means I can mention here bio as
C1.
very good C1.
So music
Okay.
also will not be C2, right?
Very good, very good, good. C2 music also can receive C2 because it is not adjacent with any of the vertices color having the coloring C2. So I am allowed to put music as C2. Now can you just guess what about this economics? Economics
C.
subject.
C3.
C3, very good. So here economics is the adjacent to the biology subject as well to the music as well to the art. So I should force me to use another C3. Okay, so another color C3. So the chi value of this graph is actually 3. Have you understood the chromatic number concept? Is it clear?
Yes, sir.
Okay, fine. Can you just quickly try to say the answer for this graph, chi answer?
C3, sir. Like you need
Okay,
3.
let us check. Okay, very good. So here this is C1 means I should not use here C1. Okay, so I should use C2. Okay, next C1 is there means C2 next. So here possibly I should use only
C1, sir.
C1. Is it allowed? If I put here C1 means it contradicts to the definition of the proper coloring as well the chromatic coloring.
So
So what?
bottom in C2 should also not be there.
Very good. Anyway, got the point. So here, what the thing should come? C1,
C3, sir.
C3. What about this?
C4.
C4. So previous answer was wrong. So totally it is required to color that has 4 vertices of this graph. Okay, you can just keenly check is there any other possibility to reduce the number of this, then only you need to mention that such number. Okay, if there is a possibility to reduce the number of colors of this graph, you should not put the number of whole as 4. Okay, so is there any other possibilities? Is there any other possibility?
No, sir.
Okay, fine. So that's it. So 4 will be the answer for that. So here, this is the concept of. Okay. So this is the concept of chromatic coloring and proper coloring. Okay. Now let us enter into the problem, 10-mark problem.
Sir, I have a doubt.
Yes, please.
So what will be the answer of schedule that provides minimum number of periods?
That answer is actually 3.
Okay, sir.
That is answer. See here, can you able to see the final answer?
Yes, sir.
Okay, that's answer. Oh, let us enter into the 10-mark. Yes. So here, please listen properly. So here, usually, I already have told you the question will be asked to you like find the chromatic polynomial of the following graph. Okay. First, you need to know what is a chromatic polynomial. See here, already we have discussed how the coloring can be labeled in the graph. Okay, so you may just already we have drawn. See here, we have given one example, right? So in this example, we are applying here the chromatic polynomial, right? Sorry, chromatic number. That means we are reducing the colors. Okay, if suppose if the condition is given to you, like we are not applying the not needed to reduce the number of colors, means you may just simply denote like C1, C2, C3, C4, C5, C6. I can even write like C6 or C5 or maybe like C4 also. Maximum is C6. Okay, with respect to the number of vertices, it can allow to apply the label that comes under the proper coloring definition. Okay, now, so even if we are restricting to reduce the number of colors, the there will be the distinct ways to apply the colors. See here, I have started with C1 for the chemistry subject. So instead, I can even give the color like chemistry as C2. I can routinely change the math and then art as C1 also. Is there the possibility to get the answer with the same like 3? Am I right? There will be the possibility to start instead C1, we can start with C2 also. Not a problem, right?
Yes.
So by the way, I can even start with C3 also, not a problem. So there will be the distinct ways to apply the colors on the given graph. Okay. Now, chromatic polynomial is the exact definition, says how many distinct ways will be there in the given graph. Okay. That distinct ways can be summed up and then expressed as a polynomial. Such polynomial is called chromatic polynomial. Okay, such polynomial is called chromatic polynomial. So here, this maybe you can try to say this graph is with the coloring, with the coloring. They can just clearly instruct you like a 5 coloring. You can just try to color this graph with the 5 coloring labels. How many number of distinct ways can possibly apply on this graph? That's a question will be asked to you. Okay, in that manner, you will be derived one answer in a polynomial manner. Such polynomial is called chromatic polynomial. That is the definition was given there in the slide. Okay, so this is the chromatic polynomial definition. See here, the graph will be provided to you with n vertices. For such graph, it can be assigned with lambda colors. They can just give to you like, generally they can use lambda. That means lambda means that can be either 5 colors or 3 colors or 4 colors. Okay, for lambda colors, how many ways? Okay, how many different ways it can be possibly colored? That property can be expressed as a polynomial. Such polynomial is called chromatic polynomial. Have you understood the definition of chromatic polynomial? Is it clear up to this? Is it clear up to this? Is it clear? Can you please respond? Is it clear up to this?
Can you repeat it once, sir?
Yes, sure. See here, you may just have one thing like C1, C2, C3, C4. I can even color this like C2, C1, C3, C4. One more thing like C3, C1, C2, C4. So by the way, I can arrange this in plenty of ways. Okay, that plenty of ways, I should not say simply like plenty of ways. I should say the exact answer for how many times it can possibly assign the colors for coloring for this graph. That possible number of ways can be determined as one expression with the lambda value. By putting the lambda value as 4, I will get the answer. Okay, that may be 7 times, that may be 8 times. We can assign 4 colors for this graph. Okay, that number of ways can be expressed as a polynomial. Such polynomial is called chromatic polynomial. Now, have you understood up to this? Is it clear now?
Yes, sir.
So
Okay, fine.
in the definition, what is written after ways using?
Exactly, the different ways of your different ways you are getting for any graph with n vertices. Okay, that different ways can be determined as a expression. Such expression is called chromatic polynomial. Anyway, you will understand this when we enter into the problem. So now I'm just raising the question. Have you slightly got the concept? What the chromatic polynomial definition? Is it clear?
Yes, sir.
Okay, fine. Okay, now let us enter into the the keynote. See here. Okay, see here. This is actually a chromatic polynomial of a complete graph. These are small definitions. It's not required to get into the proof, but it will be needed to solve the problem. So you should keep in your mind. See here, chromatic polynomial of a complete graph with n vertices. Okay, usually they are just determined as a theorem. For example, like a p5 of lambda means what will be the answer? By replacing n as phi, you will get the expression in terms of lambda. Okay, k5. Okay, k5 means where number of vertices is 5. By replacing n as 5, you will get one expression with the expression involves with the variable lambda. By providing lambda, how many colors you are going to insert, you will get the answer. Okay, that's what they have derived chromatic polynomial for complete graph with n vertices. By the way, they are having the chromatic polynomial of a tree with n vertices. Okay, you can just keep these keynote to get into the 10-mark problems. Anyway, it's an open book test. It is not required to memorize it. So you can just write down in your paper separately. Then automatically the problem will be quite easy to solve. Okay, now what is the main procedure to attain the 10-mark? Okay, that is the theorem is given here. Anyway, let me explain this not as a theory. I'll explain directly as a problem. So here, first, one by one we can go with it. So first problem, find the chromatic polynomial of the following graph. So here, if the graph is given to you like, first you need to split. First you need to take a look if there is no non-adjacent vertices, means first your focus should be placed on non-adjacent vertices. See here, first I can just choose the vertices like C and D. Okay, C and D. So here I can draw the same diagram. Yeah, better I can copy and then paste it. So okay, so instead I can. Okay, so here after that, see here in this graph, if there is no adjacent between the vertices, means first you can pick that first pair and then you can make an edge between them. Okay, see here C and D, it is not having the edge, so I'm going to pick the first pair like CD. I can make an edge. That is the first step was followed in a theorem that one by one I'll explain. So here A and B are two non-adjacent vertices, so you have already overlooked. So G dash is nothing but you are going to create a graph obtained by adding a new edge. Between those two non-adjacent vertices. So here we are going to create an edge. Such graph is called G dash. Okay, we are created a new edge. After that, second step, listen carefully one by one. So if there is any doubt, you can just stop me at any time. I'll explain once again. See here. Next, I need to merge those two vertices, like C and D is going to merge. So I'm going to overlap the vertex C into D. How it is going to overlap? So certainly if I remove that, if I try to drag this vertex C into D means, certainly the corresponding edges will be overlapped, right? So here I can just retain with the other shape. Listen carefully. So that means this is A, E, B and then D. So here C vertex is going to overlap into the vertex D. Okay. So what it tries to say, such edge also will be removed. C to A, there is an edge. C vertex is merged as a D. D to A is an edge. So I can leave that. Okay. By the way, B to C originally, actually if I remove this vertex means certainly the corresponding vertices also will be, corresponding edges also will be removed. So that means removed in the sense it is going to connect with the D, that's it, right? So B to C there is an edge. So C is a vertex has been formed as a D. So B to D is an already there is an edge. So I can leave up to that. Is it clear up to this? Is it clear? So this is G double dash. So now if you could look back to your previous step, that's it. The problem is going to complete. See here, first you are created one graph G dash. That graph is actually G dash is nothing but you are creating. That means you are adding one edge between non-adjacent vertices. Next, G double dash. G double dash is nothing but you are going to fusing the vertices such edges will be added as a single edge into your new graph, that is G double dash. So that's a theorem. So you are going to continue the same process until you are getting the shape like a tree and then a complete graph. Let me just
So can you
draw the
repeat
graphs
what G
consecutively.
double
Okay.
dash?
Sir,
Yes, please.
sir, in G1, sir, can we join A and B?
Yes, that's what we are going to do in the next step. So here, first you need to overlook what are all the vertices is not having the edge. See here, there are two things like CD. CD, there is no direct edge. So by the way, another pair is actually A. Okay. So in which I need to choose in the first step, first pair. So I have chosen CD. You are allowed to choose AB also first, not a problem. Okay. So in the next step, anyway, I'm going to choose another pair also. Okay. So by adding a new edge between those two non-adjacent vertices, that will be the first step. That is your G dash. Okay. So by the way, you are fusing the vertex C. You are just merging this vertex C into D. The corresponding edges also will be merged. So here you should not write any kind of like the same edges already there means you can remove that. C to B means that is nothing but D to B. Already there is a connection between D and B. Here D plays a role as C also. I hope you can understand. So now you are connected with respect to the fusing the vertices. Have you understood up to this G double dash? Is it clear?
Sir,
Yes, sir.
I didn't understand, sir. Can you repeat? Yes.
Which step you didn't understand?
Sir, B and D step, sir. The B and D.
Okay. See here, actually here my task is in your second G double dash graph. You are going to overlap, that means fusing this vertex, overlap this vertex into, you are going to drag this into, paste it into D. Okay. So certainly this shape will be laid on the other shape of the triangle, like C is going to overlap with the D means certainly I need to just discuss about the CB edge and then CA edge. CB edge is going to lie at the BD edge because B is a vertex is having connection with C. C vertex is going to create as a vertex D. So certainly I should make a connection B to C, that is nothing but B to D. Okay, by the same way, A to C means that is nothing but A to D, because C vertex is merged as a D vertex. So that's why we are drawn in this shape as a G double dash. Is it clear?
Yes, sir.
Okay, now anyway, if still there is a confusion, let me explain in the another step. That time you will understand. So by keeping this as the graph, I am going to split this into two manner. Listen carefully. So here, first I need to take a look. Is there any non-adjacent vertices pair will be there on this graph in your preceding step? Can you quickly say the answer? Is there any two vertices are not having the adjacent?
A and B.
AB.
Very good, A and B. So I can. Oh, okay. So here. Yes. Okay. So here I'm going to use the same. I'm going to use the same graph. Listen carefully. Next. So this will be A, D, C, B. So this might be okay. So already there is an edge that is A, C to D. Now you are going to create an edge between A to B. A to B. Okay. So after that, listen carefully. Now, as per this diagram, which edge is newly made?
AB.
As
A to
A,
B.
B. A to B. So here you are allowed to fuse a vertex either A or B or B. So you can merge A to B or B to A. That's your wish. You can follow any order. See, in this case, so I am going to just write the thing like maybe I can just try to draw like hope you can follow the things. Let me explain if suppose if there is any doubt. See here, I'm going to merge A into B. So C, E, and then D. So here, now A to B means here I have missed one more thing, that is C to D. Okay, so the corresponding edges also will be overlaid into another shape like C to A means C to B. That is a similar edge, right? D to A means the similar edges D to B. I should not have any multiple edges. That's it. So now, so we are. You can just check. Is there any multiple edges on this graph? Is there any multiple edges on this graph? Is there any multiple edges?
No, sir.
No.
No, sir.
Okay. So have you understood up to this graph? Is it clear?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Next. So by the same way, I am going to split with respect to the preceding second graph. See here in this, what are all the vertices are not having the adjacent?
Sir, AB.
Very good. So I can keep the same shape first. A, E, B, D. So I need to create a new edge that is AB. Okay. After that, I need to fuse that, right? So here it will be formed like. Next. Listen carefully. So I'm going to merge. This is D, E, B. I'm going to overlap A vertex into B. So what else pending? Any other edge I need to connect?
No, sir.
No.
No, sir.
Okay. So you can stop the process. Right? So here it is you are overlapped all the edges with respect to this fusing the vertex concept. So after that, still, so here you can just check. You have determined all the graphs are either in the shape of tree or in the shape of complete graph. Okay. Can you just try to say what about this graph? First graph. What about this graph? What about the first one? Is it in the shape of
Complete graph.
on how many vertices?
5.
5 vertices. Very good. Complete graph on 5 vertices. You can check all the degrees are 4. Okay. So you have determined the first one as complete graph on 5 vertices. What about the second graph?
Complete graph on 4 vertices.
Very good. Complete graph on 4 vertices. Third one also complete graph on 4 vertices. What about the final one?
Complete graph on 3 vertices.
3 vertices. So you may get the shape either in the form like complete graph, or you are allowed to have in the tree shape also. Okay. So you need to follow until you are getting the shape like a complete graph or in the shape of tree. Okay. After that, so you are going to complete last step. So the answer like Pn of, that means your n was there like 5, right? So you are going to determine a chromatic polynomial with the n vertices. Here n is 5 of lambda of g. Okay, original graph of the polynomial will be equivalent to p phi of lambda of k phi. That means first one k phi, complete graph on 5 vertices, plus, can you just guess what about the next one? What about the next one? What about the next one? By adding
Just
all
give me a
the
second.
smaller graphs. Very good. Yes.
Sir, could you please repeat this line again?
See here, you are going to determine the chromatic polynomial of the original graph G. Here it is splitted like 4 graphs. Okay. You know the answers individually by using the previous theorems. Previous theorem says chromatic polynomial of a complete graph is nothing but this one. This will be the answer. By replacing the n with respect to the number of vertices, you will get the answer, right? So here what they are saying, like by just simply 1 minute, I can just open that. Yeah. Yes. So if you want to determine the chromatic polynomial of this graph G, means by adding all its separate answers, you will get the cumulative answer. So now, according to that, what will be the next step? That's what I asked. What about the next?
2 into P4 of K of K4.
Very good. 2 times of, because totally I have 2 times K4 answer, right? So 2 times of P4 of lambda of K4. Last one is?
P3.
Last one is? Very good. P3 of lambda of K3.
K3.
So here your final answer will be written like, so here the theorem says like lambda into lambda minus 1 into lambda minus 2 into up to lambda minus n plus 1. Okay, that is the theorem says. So according to that, up to, see here, lambda into lambda minus 1 into, the theorem says like, I can write in rough work, like lambda minus n plus 1. Okay, that is the theorem says. You can just check lambda minus n plus 1. So it can goes up to lambda minus n plus 1. So here n value is 5 on this graph, first graph. So minus 5 plus 1. So lambda minus 4, right? So lambda minus 2 into lambda minus 3 into lambda minus 4. With it, so 2 times of, this is lambda 4, right? So it can come up to what value? Any guess?
Lambda minus 3.
Very good. That's it. So you understood the concept. So lambda minus 3. Last one is? Last one is?
Sir, minus 2.
That's it. Problem is winded. So you can take a common lambda into lambda minus 1 into lambda minus 2. Remaining things you can just apply the simplification like lambda minus 3 into lambda minus 4 into 2 times of lambda minus 3 plus 1. You can apply the, it can retain same. You can apply the simplification on this step. You will write the answer. That's it. One line answer. So this is the chromatic polynomial. To determine chromatic polynomial, you need to follow the order. First, you need to, okay, let me summarize the method. First step, you need to take a look on non-adjacent vertices. Non-adjacent vertices. And then you need to create an edge G dash. Your second step, you need to create a G double dash by merging the vertices. Okay, there you are creating a edge. Create edge, that is the first step. Your second step should be created a G double dash by merging the vertices. Okay, a third one is the process can be continued until you are getting the answer either complete graph or tree. Okay, that is a procedure you need to follow. That is totally, there are 3 steps you need to follow clearly. So finally you can just simply you can use mostly you will get the shape finally like a complete graph only. Okay, very rarely you can get the shape like tree, but always you will get the shape complete graph only. So that is a procedure. This is very important 10 mark problem. Usually this single question can be asked as a 10 mark. So that much level, this is a worthy method of this model. So already I have intimated you clearly about the what are all the important problems can be, important methods can be asked as a single 10 mark. Okay, so keep follow this. You can just keep try with the other examples also. Have you understood this model? Is it clear?